Without good descriptive details, your story will feel flat and two-dimensional. In order to make the story come to life for your audience, you have to use language that's descriptive and sensory. Make your audience feel like they're there by using language that activates the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Imagine you were writing a story and your main character walked into a room. If you were to simply write that your main character walked into a room, your audience may picture something like this. But if you write descriptively, you'll be able to paint a picture more like this. You could describe the creak of the floorboards, or the warmth coming from the fire, perhaps the smell of the flowers, or the creepy portraits of people who look like they're staring at you over the fireplace. In order to achieve this kind of effect, you should use specific adjectives and verbs. Specific language that lets your audience imagine what you're describing. You can also use figurative language to help your audience picture the scene through analogies. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. Here's a really simple detail. The pizza was greasy. It's very boring and doesn't really activate the imagination of your readers. Now let's try using some descriptive details. The pepperoni pizza glistened in the sunlight as some thick, cloudy oil oozed off the surface and onto the paper plate. You can see that I've used a lot of specific language here, both adjectives and nouns and verbs that explain to the audience exactly what the pizza looks like. Compare the 2 sentences for yourself and see which one captures your interest more. Let's try another one. Ray ate a slice and burned his tongue. This time I'll try using some figurative language. Ray thrust the pizza into his mouth and gave a shocked scream as if he had stepped on a nail. The pizza had lit a raging inferno on his tongue. There are 2 examples of figurative language here. The first one is when we describe the way in which he screams. It's like he stepped on a nail. This simile makes it easy for your audience to not only hear the scream, but also imagine how Ray feels. There's also a metaphor about how the pizza has created an inferno on his tongue. Rather than simply saying that it's hot or it's burned his tongue, you can picture a blazing fire roaring in Ray's mouth. Now, descriptive details are important, but that doesn't mean you have to go overboard and be descriptive about everything. Be selective and spend your time and energy crafting descriptive details for scenes that are important or critical in your story.